Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and we continue our journey into the Marvel Cinematic Universe for Avengers Endgame in the Countdown series, and our next entry is Captain America Civil War. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So here we are, Avengers Endgame Countdown, Captain America Civil War, one of the more pivotal movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that doesn't necessarily have to deal with Thanos and the Infinity Stones. So we have in my hand here the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook, which is the Blu-ray 3D. I always enjoyed this Steelbook. Now, there is a 4K Steelbook and 4K edition coming in this month in April, towards the end of the month. Unfortunately, I don't have the chance to get a review copy for that for this particular video, but I will, in fact, when that comes out, do a review. So stay tuned for that. I do all sorts of 4K Blu-ray stuff on the channel, so check that out. But yeah, I really enjoy both the 2D and the 3D presentations. The 3D has a lot of good 3D moments, but I don't feel it is required 3D in this case. It does fine, and there's a lot of good immersive and pop out stuff, but it's not an essential watch. So, but I do alternate between the two, 2D and 3D, as I usually do in these cases. But I enjoy both presentations equally, and I think it's worth it to pick it up in 3D if you have 3D capability. But yeah, all right. So, Captain America: Civil War, basically as big as I would say even arguably a bigger impact than Winter Soldier did as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know that whole thing with Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. still is, see remnants of that today. But I feel that the immediate rift between the Avengers is still here. I mean, it was all over Infinity War, and I'm sure it's going to be addressed again in Endgame. So there was a lot going on here, obviously. We get, essentially an Avengers, 2.5 in a lot of ways. It is still Cap's movie, and I love that. They don't really shy away from the other characters, but they keep the focus mostly from Cap's perspective. We're also given our first introduction into T'Challa, the Black Panther, as well as Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and both I feel bring their A game to their respective characters, and they were great introductions. And in a lot of ways, I feel Captain Marvel should have been introduced in a similar way before launching her into her own film, but I guess they're going to do it backwards in this case. She's already got the solo film out there and will be featured as a player in Endgame. So, there's really a lot to like here. And, we get a lot of good, nods to the general Marvel Cinematic Universe and Cap versus Tony, and there's callbacks to previous films. Of course, Bucky Barnes being the center of it and Baron Zemo being our main antagonist. And it was weird. It was like, it was a thing where just a guy, not some superpowered being or something like that. It was just a guy was able to, effectively tear down the Avengers. And that speaks a lot, and it's also due to the incredible director capabilities of the Russo brothers, who, of course, give us Infinity War and Endgame. I enjoy this film a lot. I feel if I had to be let down by slightly anything and there were memes floating around, of course, it's like Civil War in the comics versus Civil War in the movie. Yes, it was good, it was nice, but you have this big empty space and just like these two teams of 6 or 7 on each side, and it just seemed kind of sparse and a little empty. But I still loved it. I loved everything that happened here. I do feel, and as much as it kills me to say this, I do feel that there should have been a real toll on this. As far as like a death. I mean, they set it up perfectly for Rhodey, who I don't want to see Rhodey die. In fact, War Machine is one of my favorite characters overall. I just love the armor so much. And it would have just I would have just hated to see him die, but I think it would have had a greater impact on the overall movie itself. I'm glad he's still around. What's done is done, that kind of thing. But to see that big of cost be enacted, maybe they felt like it would have been too much. It would have been too far, nowhere to go, come back from, that kind of thing. I can see that. I actually do. But come on, Civil War is just a fun, great movie. I still feel Winter Soldier out of the two is the better made movie and the better overall, but I love Civil War, and it's just something I go back to all the time. I can't wait to review it in 4K. As I mentioned, we don't get a lot of movement, or if any, on the Infinity Stone front. Vision still has his stone attached, but we don't get a lot of anything else, and there really isn't any illusions beyond that. No visits from Thanos, that kind of thing. But we're getting really close here, and it's just from this point on, there's a lot of lore to the overall cosmic side of the universe coming up, and that kind of thing. And it's a fun time. It's a fun movie, and what we get going in, the last half a dozen or so going into Infinity War and Endgame. Ultimately, I've enjoyed doing these, and it's kind of sad to see it kind of nearing its end here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, what do you think of Civil War? I love the movie. We got a lot of good balance of character development. Just overall, just very, very good. We see Cap struggling, we see Tony struggling, and just the team fractured. And those consequences still are felt even today in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let me know in the comments about what you thought of Civil War. And in the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.